Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum to all viewers. I am Sahrish and I am a student of Faculty of Education, University of Sindh. I am going to tell you about those factors which affect on growth and development and the social learning theory by Albert Bandura. These topics are assigned me by Dr. Amjad Ali. To understand what are the factors which affect on growth and development, we have to know that about growth and development. What is growth? Growth refers to quantitative changes in size, include physical changes in height, weight, internal organs, etc. And the development refers to qualitative changes taking place simultaneously with quantitative changes of growth, such as gross and fine motor development, capacity to speak, able to eat, draw pictures, cognitive and thinking ability, understanding and problem solving capacity, social interaction with others, making new friends, having sympathy for others, etc. There are so many factors which affect on growth and development, such as physical defects, sex, nutrition, glands, emotions. Heredity is further divided into genetic disorder and prenatal and postnatal, and the environment is further classified into physical, psychological, and social factors. Now we will look in detail each and every factor which affect on growth and development. Heredity factors. Heredity is a biological process through which the transmission of physical and social characteristics take place from parents to offspring. It generally influences the different aspects of growth and development, that is height, weight and structure of the body, color of hair and eye, intelligence and aptitude. It is a sum total of all traits present in an individual at the time of birth. Because of heredity, there are some heredity disorders. One of them is hemophilia, a condition in which blood does not clot normally. This results in severe bleeding from minor wounds. It is always associated with a defective gene. The second is Down syndrome, an inherited disorder resulting from an extra chromosome material on pair number 21, which causes mental retardation and distinct physical features. Myopia or short-sightedness. Myopia is an eye condition that causes distant objects appearing blurred while close objects seen clearly. The fourth one is diabetes. It is a metabolic disorder in which person has high blood glucose either because insulin production is inadequate or because the body's cells do not respond properly to insulin or both. The fifth one is muscular dystrophy. Muscular dystrophy is a group of more than 30 inherited diseases. They all cause muscles weakness and muscles loss. All forms of muscular dystrophy grow worse as the person's muscle get weaker. Most people with muscular dystrophy eventually lose the ability to walk. Environmental factors further classified into physical, social and psychological environment. Physical environment, all outer factors such as food, clothing, shelter, weather and climate, etc. Social factors, society, individuals and institutions, social laws, customs by which human behavior is regulated. Psychological environment, the individual's reaction with an object, one's love, affections and fellow feelings, attitude strengthen human bonds. Emotional factors also affect on growth and development. Emotional disturbance, insecurity, siblings, jealousy, loss of parents, inadequate schooling, etc. have a negative effect on growth and development. Some of these factors coming under environmental factors are heredity or with the nature of both heredity and environmental. Nutrition. Growth and development of the child mainly depend on his food habits and nutrition. The malnutrition has adverse effect on the structural and functional development of the child. This condition cannot be rectified with quality diet in later period of the life. Hormones, physiological substances having the power to raise or lower the activity level of the body or certain organs of the body. For instance, thyroxine produced by the thyroid gland is essential for the physical and mental development. Deficiency during the growing years result in stunted growth. Position in the family. The second, third, or fourth child within a family generally develops more quickly than the firstborn because of the fact that the younger children learn from imitating their elder brothers and sisters. Sex. Sex acts as an important factor of growth and development. There is difference in growth and development of boys and girls. The boys in general taller, courageous than the girls, but girls show rapid physical growth in adolescence and excel boys. In general, the body constitution and structural growth of girls are different from boys. Physical defects. Physical defects like visual, auditory defects, and orthopedic disabilities affect the normal development of children. The developmental status of a children suffering from a physical defects child is usually below that of the normal child. The second topic is social learning theory. Monkey see, monkey do, the same concept used in social learning theory. A Canadian psychologist, Albert Bandura, proposed one of the most influential theory known as social learning theory. It is often referred to as a bridge behaviorist and cognitive learning theories because it encompasses attention, memory, and motivation. There are some key concepts of the social learning theory. Social learning theory states that people learn from one another via observation, imitation, and modeling. Most human behavior is learned observationally through modeling. From observing others, one forms an idea of how new behaviors are performed, and on later occasions, this coded information serves as a guide for action. Social learning theory explains human behavior in terms of continuous reciprocal interaction between cognitive behavior and environmental influences. Here you can see that behavior is influenced from environmental and personal factors, and they are continuous reciprocal interaction. The key concept of the social learning theory is observation. What is observation? The act of watching somebody or something carefully for a period of time, especially to learn something. It leads to students learn from vicarious experiences. What is imitation? The act of copying somebody or something leads to children are more likely to imitate the actions of others who seems competent, powerful, prestigious, and enthusiastic. What is modeling? A person or thing that is considered an excellent example of something. Leads to modeling consists of four components: process, attention, retention, reproduction, and motivation. And then it further is a cycle. Modeling describes the process of learning or acquiring new information, skills, or behavior through observation. Pupil learn through observation. Bandura did an experiment on the Bobo doll. From this video, you can easily understand that how people learn through observation. The children in Bandura's study observed an adult acting violently towards a Bobo doll. When the children were later allowed to play in a room with the Bobo doll, they began to imitate the aggressive actions they had previously observed.
Exposure to aggressive modeling increased attraction to guns, even though it was never modeled. Guns had less appeal to children who had no exposure to the aggressive modeling. The children also picked up the novel hostile language.
So, Albert Bandura, social learning theory, also known as social cognitive theory, or social learning theory, or observational learning theory, or a modeling theory. There are some steps involved in the observational learning. The first one is attention. For behavior to be successfully learned, the individuals or learner must pay sufficient attention. If the model is interesting or there is a novel aspect of the situation, individuals are more likely to dedicate full attention to learning. The second step is retention. Storing the information so that it may be used at a later date is important to the observational learning process. Retention can be affected by a number of factors, but the ability to pull up information later and act on it is vital to observational learning. The third is reproduction. Once a learner paid attention to the model and retained the information, it is time to actually perform the behavior which observed. Practice of the learned behavior leads to improvement in skills. The fourth is motivation, which is the last step in observational learning. The individual must be motivated to repeat the learned behavior. Finally, in order for observational learning to be successful, individual must be motivated to imitate the learned behavior that has been modeled. Reinforcement and punishment play an important role in motivation. Thanks for listening me.